Hello, my YouTube fans and subscribers. I think it's about time I showed you another set. Yes, this is my ceramic chess set, which there's actually a, well, I would call it a funny story, but it wasn't funny at the time. It was many years ago, so the anger over the whole thing is obviously long gone and faded. So I originally got this set from both for eBay. I got a set like this, identical to this, from eBay. Some guy in some middle of the country somewhere. When he sent it to me packed in those small, postal service boxes, the eBay boxes that I used to use. And it was so moronic the way this guy shoved those things in there. I think he broke them before it was even, put on the truck. So there was a few that were broken. I paid almost $100 for them. And of course, eBay has the, you can settle your disputes with all that and stuff like that. And the way it worked out was I had to pay the shipping to send them back to him to get my money back. So I paid an extra $10 just to have him, I paid $10 to have him ship me broken pieces and send them back. So that kind of pissed me off. So I went to, other eBayers at the time. Again, this was many years ago. And found another reputable, more reputable eBayer who was a ceramic. I think she was, I don't remember anybody's name, so I already, gave him some bad, flack about it and all that stuff. So, but this woman was very nice, and she shipped me this in a large box with smaller packaged boxes for each individual piece, and she packed it very well. So it was like $90, but basically I paid $100 or so for pieces that shouldn't have cost me $100 because of that one jerk in the first set. So anyway, of course they were all ceramic white, and I painted them with spray paint. I painted the white because I figured the paint would help keep the make them less fragile, in other words. So I painted them both black and white. And I had intended many years. I had this packed away in a box behind me, in the same box that it came in. And I had it in foam rubber, packing material, and the box still is behind me for like years. Because I had originally had it on this table, and I'll tell you about this table too. You probably saw this table a few years back, either one of my videos or some of my pictures that I had made. This table and these pieces were visible in some of my YouTube stuff. I don't know if they're still around or if you can find them. Let me know. But in any case, I had originally intended to sit down and paint some of the details on these pieces, but I never got around to it. Perhaps maybe I should get around to it soon. So right now the table and the pieces are in the they were in the living room. I had moved them to the living room. The table is such that it used to sit on the table behind this chess set here. When you see me on YouTube and you see the refrigerator behind me or the clock behind me and stuff like that, there's a trunk, a Foot Locker kind of thing, and this used to sit on that with four wooden legs that were screwed into the thing. Let me see if I can show you without destroying my whole system here. These are the original feet, unfinished, just feet that you buy in Home Depot or Lowe's. I think actually I bought them in Lowe's. So and then underneath of this there's the screwy part of the legs that you can use for that purpose. So when I moved the whole set into the living room, I had bought longer legs to screw into the same mounts for them to make it an actual table. It's a little bit low because my knee just about fits under it with my leg under it, and I'm a short person, so I can imagine somebody with larger larger, longer legs would probably have trouble with putting their knees underneath of it. But in any case, the chess set itself, of course, they were hollow and they're very top heavy. The bishop is actually taller than the king. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but the bishop is actually taller than the king. But they are hollow, and what I had done was I had purchased from that same Lowe's some nuts, steel, large nuts, and slightly smaller or medium-sized nuts, because I couldn't fit the big ones into the pawn. So I put these nuts inside the hollow of the pieces to weight them down, because they're very top heavy, and I was afraid they were going to break, because they were out for when I first got them. And on this table, by the way, is ceramic tile. So and they had fallen a couple. I had knocked down a couple of times. I was surprised they didn't break, because ceramic against ceramic, how tiles are. It's bathroom floor tile is really what it is. But the tiles themselves were on clearance. I got all that I needed for less than $10, which is a big price chunk. And I had to choose two different colors that were on clearance. One was on clearance for like $1 more than the other one was, so it didn't really matter, the fact that I got them so cheap. The shininess is coming from the fact there's actually a piece of vinyl. Let me see if I can pick a clear. It's a piece of very thin vinyl you buy at Walmart for a few pennies, and cover it for dust or whatever. It also gives it a little bit of cushion if the pieces do fall. But anyway, I love the detail, especially with the rooks. Let me see if I can do this just right. There we go. You'll see the door of the castle. And this I think is a drawbridge, perhaps. And if you turn the rook over, you see a stairway that goes up to another doorway here, like a back entrance or something to that effect. So it's a very interesting set, as far as design is concerned. I did originally want to paint like the stairs like a gray or something to that effect, or whatever. The knights are, well, they're nothing spectacular, but I think they're if you look closely, you can see some detail. And with my shaky hands, to tell you the truth, I never got around to painting these because I was afraid of my shaky hands, not being able to stay steady enough to paint the detail, maybe of the mouth or the nostrils or something, maybe the eyes or something like that. And the mane could be painted a hair color, of some sort, a blonde or something like that, or brown. The bishop's the tallest piece here. Believe it or not, like I said, they're taller than the king. Let me see if I can show that. You can see that the bishop is actually taller than the king. These are very large pieces, by the way. I have a ruler in here. I also have a... Let me see if I can pull out the ruler first. But I also have a funny thing that I want to compare the size to. And I'm not going to tell you what it is until I show it to you. So, the bishop is approximately there. Let me see what that is. That's like 6.5 inches ish, not to be exact, but so yeah, it's more than 6 inches tall. The king is just slightly smaller than that. And to be funny about it, just to show you what that really looks like, here's a kitchen item that everybody should know. They know exactly just how big this is, right? Let's go ahead and plant that behind. No, let's put it in front, maybe. So these pieces are bigger than the Morton Salt. Let me actually move a couple pieces out of the way and put the Morton Salt there. So these pieces are actually, the queen, the bishop, and the king, and the rooks are actually bigger than the Morton Salt. So, unique, very large set. the bottom not being that big makes them kind of clumsy, which is why I put the weights in them. The weights do help, but there's just one nut. It's not that heavy, and you can see that it's you know, they're a bit wobbly. Especially this tile is not exactly flat. Where's my hand? Here. This tile is not exactly flat. It's got like ridges. You know, it's got like a bumpy texture to it. So you know, some of the pieces sit on some of those bumps. You might want to move it over. It's a little steadier. But nevertheless, you know, I was thinking about putting like a clear plastic, like a plexiglass over the set, so that it would the pieces would have a flat thing to sit on, and it'll be softer if they fall. Never got around to buying that plexiglass though. One of these days, I'll do it. Yeah, so this set again cost, because of that jerk, was a lot of hassle, an extra $10, which I shouldn't have had to spend, just to get my money back so I can buy a better set of the same, because I really wanted this set. Let me see if I can show you some of the details of the king. I'm going to show you the white one, but I'm going to show you the blacks too, so this might maybe get an idea of the contrast. As you can see, he's got the, you know, the religious cross on his gown or whatever, his robes. You can see the jewel in his crown, and you can see the crown. These are the details I originally wanted to paint. If you look closely, I think I'm looking close now. I can't really see too good here. I think these are jewels around the top of the crown. I'm not sure. You know, whatever. In any case, it would be interesting to get somebody with a steady hand, maybe one of my nephews or something, to paint some detail on this. Let me show you the black one just in case we can see the details a little bit better on the black. I'm not sure. You can see even the face is got, you know, it's got wrinkles in his face. So I mean, it's certainly a I wouldn't say unique, because because these pieces, you know, the eBay, and you can find this in ceramic shops around. They have these molds that make these pieces. They're very common. But you know, you can see there's a jewel on his one of his. Is that a jewel, or is that just the end of the robe? Well, anyway, you can see the detail on the robe, the wrinkles and things like that. So I tried it once. You know, I played on it once, but I really bought it for a display set. It takes some getting used to, because I'm used to the Staunton, you know, regular Staunton chess sets. But let me see the pawns. You can see that he has the helmet on, and he's got the nose guard. So this is a Europe. I forget what the era is. They actually, there's a name for this set, and I don't remember the exact name. Maybe some one of you guys out there will tell me in the comments. But yeah, you can see they're wearing the helmet with the cloth face chin thing, and the nose guard. And I'll show you the black one. Yeah, so you could even pull out some detail on it. Looks like chainmail or something, you know, kind of armor maybe. Yeah, you can't see it on the white. I can feel it, but I can't. The camera's not is too glary. I can see it with my eyes, but I can't see it on the camera. So the black is better to see it with. You can see it in the reflection. There you go. See the texture. So that's like a chainmail or something like that. Let me see if I missed any details on the rook by looking at the black one. Yeah, there's some windows over here that I didn't see before. Things like that. So there's even like a raised brick here. Yeah, so very cool set, you know, as a display. But again, just being black and white, I really wanted to give it some detail, you know, without going too overboard. Because what happens is when you start painting these things, you can start getting a little bit too crazy, or sometimes it's too little. You know, like I want to do the eyes maybe, but I don't want to do anything to the face. You know, I could do the whole face, paint the skin tone and all that, but I'm no artist, and I'll end up messing it all up. So, you know, maybe I'm thinking maybe the robe edges here, this like maybe make it a different color just to highlight the edge of the robe, you know, something like that, and the jewels or something like that. But again, I'm not so sure my hand's steady enough to do that, and I don't want to mess it up. But there it is. I've had it for many years. when I actually had money. But and it was packed away, and then I brought it into the living room recently, and there you have it. I hope you. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't tell you about the whole thing about this chessboard. This is actually an upside down crate top. It's a very large crate. And believe it or not, the crate held a power supply that came from NASA. When I had a job, I used to work in a place that made power supplies, and amongst them, let me just I don't want to show too much on the camera of the address that it was at, so I got to be careful here. Okay. Let me put my other glasses on. I gotta cover up names on this. This is a shipping label from this crate, but I gotta cover up the names. Okay, so let me see. How about if I put a clip on the fold? Yeah, I'm going to put a clip to fold over the address of the place that it was at, where I picked up the crate top. And I'm going to put my thumb over the name of the other thing. So, let me see if I can get that right. Okay, so you can see that it's United Launch Alliance, Cape Canaveral, Florida. So this actually came from the launch facility in Florida, from NASA. So there was a crate top that held the power supply. The crate top itself, I turned over, it's upside down, and the size of the board was so perfect that these tiles are, let me put my hand here, now you can see it, these tiles are actually 3 inches. Well, truth be told, they're 2 7/8 or possibly 15/16, and some of them are slightly different than the other. When you go buy tile like this, they're never exactly the size that they say they are, but they're close enough to 3 inches that I wanted to get a big set. Now that wooden set that I showed you was also on this board at one time, and I bought that big set for this board in place of the ceramic set because I packed away the ceramic set. But in any case, the top was so perfect size that they fit these 3-inch tiles with just a tiny bit of space behind it and a much wider space on the side of it. Let me see if I can come over here maybe. No, over here. Let me just use my ruler to point. No, that's not it. Let me see. Where am I seeing this? Over here? Yeah, there it is. Okay, so you can see the tile and the edge. And these are just brass. This here is a brass corner, But you see that space, and in that space there is 3 wooden slits. I forgot what slats. They sell them in Lowe's, Home Depot. They're just like small pieces, strips of wood. And 3 of them fit perfectly. 3 of the slits. I don't know if you can see. You probably can't see that on the camera, but there's actually 3 pieces of wood, like 1, 2, and 3, and they fit exactly inside. Well, there was a little bit of an edge, but that's why I put the molding. This molding is a foam molding. This molding is a foam molding, and it covers the little tiny space that was left over. And then some stain, some red wood stain and a little bit of shiny. Actually, I think it was the one-step stuff, the Minwood. Yeah, so it weighs a lot. The whole book, because it's ceramic tiles, so it weighs a lot. But it makes for a unique set. The whole idea for the ceramic board was to put the ceramic set on, and then when I realized it was being knocked over every 20 seconds, I decided it was time to put the set away and keep it safe until I have a place to better put it where it's not going to get knocked around so much. And that was the living room, which is currently, its home is currently there. I just brought it back into this room to show you on the camera. So there you have it. There it is. And thank you for watching. I hope you liked this little video about my chess sets. I have a couple more I can show you, but not as interesting as this one. So I already showed you the stained glass set that I have. I showed you some of the basic sets that I have. I could continue to show you them, but they're, you know, not quite as interesting as this one. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe, share this video, comment, and thanks for watching.